From Schumann Field in Hightstown, New Jersey, Play-by-Play Sports Productions proud to present today's prep football game between the Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights and the Falcons of the Peddie School. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's broadcast. My name is Tom Wilms, as Wyoming Seminary comes in with a record of 1-0, coming off a pretty nice 20-13 win over the Hill School. Last year, they were 3-5, and one guy you really have to look at as far as their potential turnaround for this year is their QB, Cooper Heisey, a fifth year from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Last year for Scotch Plains High School, threw for over 3,000 yards, 27 touchdowns as well. Also got to keep an eye on Rob Dwyer, a former quarterback who can play 4 different positions: safety, fullback, tight end, wide receiver. So those are two guys that the Blue Knights are certainly going to count on to try to pick up a victory here against Peddie. Peddie coming off a very nice win of their own, 42-7 over Bishop Sullivan. And they've got plenty of names to look at, as mentioned last week. As John Mechie, the commit to Alabama. You've got Servassier Dennis out of Christian Brothers Academy out of Syracuse, New York. Then you have Maurice Bellon, the senior quarterback who has committed to Army as well. There's certainly players to look at here for the Peddie School Falcons. The Blue Knights are wearing the blue, while the Peddie School Falcons, I'm not exactly sure what to call this color. It's kind of a grayish with a cream-colored scheme, and they have the blue helmets on. But it is certainly an interesting look, and we're going to admit right from the jump that from a distance, these numbers, well, they'll be a bit of a challenge, but we're all going to do our very, very best to bring you the correct information as long as this game goes on. Well, compared to last year, we are certainly hoping that it is a better contest, as last year Peddie took the Blue Knights to the woodshed by a final score of 62-0. So, again, both of these teams have improved from last year. We've been talking to both coaching staffs about the turnaround here for the Blue Knights, about how they've done a really good job trying to turn around the 3-5 record from last year. While Peddie, after last year, they are even more stacked than they were last season. So it'll be an interesting matchup to kind of close out the non-conference schedule, as conference play will start next week. Actually, in 2 weeks. One more game on the non-conference schedule for both of these teams, as it will be the Blue Knights kicking off. And too deep for Peddie. Patrick Smith is back deep, the freshman. And about to kick things off, William Ziegler, the senior from Mountaintop, PA. Wyoming Seminary, for those who do not know, Northwest Pennsylvania, Luzerne County, in the Scranton area. A really nice day for football, as we're in the low 70s. A little breezy, but nothing that's going to affect the play. And thankfully, all precipitation should stay away from us.
Here we go.
As it looks like we're just about ready to get this game started again. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. As it looks like we are ready to go, as the kicker Ziegler, 6'2", 180, steps back, and he drives at the ball. Low squibber. That'll be picked up by the upback. Now the 40 to the 45. Room down the sideline, trying to cut up the middle. Here was Servassier Dennis. That might be the last guy they wanted to kick it to. And it'll be great field position here for the Peddie School.
First and 10 for the Falcons.
And it's 1st and 10. And let's see where they'll spot this. It'll be at the 32. So again, I'm thinking the idea of that squib kick was to certainly keep it away from any of the big runners, but again, right to Dennis. And he made no mistake with a big return. Quarterback will be in the shotgun. And that's going to be handed up, but snuffed out of the backfield. Good defensive line push. And that'll be spotted back at the 36-yard line.
2nd and 14 for the Falcons.
As that was Jacob Kaminsky in on the tackle, the sophomore from Riverside, Illinois. So 2nd and 14. Again, already message sent by the Blue Knights that this game might be a little bit different than last year. Again, Ballon in the shotgun, 3 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 in the backfield. And the quarterback keeper goes right up the middle to the 30, to the 25, spins and knocked down at the 23. Ball loose, but after the tackle, very close to the full first down.
Takes the ball right up the middle for a 13-yard gain.
And that is going to be, we're going to go 3rd and 1 on that one from the 23-yard line. So Balan, the big gain. They got a great push. So each line has pretty much gotten a victory. 1 loss and now 1 big gain. And it should be a very manageable 3rd down for the Falcons. They'll switch things up with 3 to the left this time. Smith in the backfield, along with Balan, the quarterback. Still looking for signals. Smith goes into motion to the right, and now goes back to the left. A lot of movement on the line, flags fly. As everybody moved, so let's see who it's going to be on. And it will be a false start. Illegal procedure call against Peddie. So that'll knock him back 5 yards.
Now 3rd and 6.
They haven't moved the ball just yet. As now it'll be from the 28-yard line, 3rd and 6. Still a manageable 3rd down for this potent Peddie offense. 2 on each side. A lot of movement defensively for Wyoming Seminary. Balan back to throw. Throws the screen on over to Harris. Harris doesn't go very far. Stays in bounds, and it'll be 4th down. And now we'll be curious to see what the Falcons do here. If they go for it, or do they have a kicker with the leg trying to put up 3 points? Looks like they will go for it. Gain of a yard, 4th and 5.
4th and 5. Maybe a long 4 from the 27.
Seems that Peddie likes to use just about every single second of the on-field play clock. Again, a lot of motion and 2 receivers on either side. Hard time believing it would be a screen this time. Balan back to throw, looking over the middle, and it is caught. Picked up here by Dennis. Dennis has room to the 10-yard line, to the 5, going for the pylon. Touchdown, Peddie.
Balan looks over the middle.
Turns a 4th and 5 into the first score of the game for the Falcons.
It's a Peddie Falcon football touchdown.
So a quick start here for the Falcons. And a lot of room right at the middle for Dennis. Pending the extra point, 6 or 7 to nothing. Just under 9 minutes to go.
Aiden McHugh Wood holding.
There'll be Michael Tile trying the kick.
In for the extra point.
The big offensive and defensive lineman being charged with adding the extra point. And that is blocked. Just couldn't get underneath the ball, and a pretty good push from the defensive line. So after the failed PAT, it's now 6-0 in favor of Peddie.
With 8 minutes and 58 seconds left.
Again, turning a 4th and 5, and where the offense just seemed to stall into a touchdown. Great work by Peddie, really gambling, but able to pick up the score. So now it'll be up to Wyoming Seminary to try to respond. And we talked about it during the pregame. Cooper Heisey is the man they'll look at. The post-grad at 6'4", 210 from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, being charged with leading this Blue Knight offense. But it might not be him under center after all. As we'll take a look, they list a few different quarterbacks, ranging from the post-grad all the way down to sophomores. But I do believe it will be Heisey.
From the 40 for the Falcons. And back deep for the Blue Knights, number 2.
So now kicking off will be Michael Tile.
Number 22,
It'll be Prince Hall and Javon Lane back for the Blue Knights. this kick will go end over end, but directly out of bounds. So pretty good field position for the Blue Knights to start things off.
Kick goes out of bounds.
And certainly understand trying to keep it away from the high-powered returners.
23-yard line.
The trick is to keep it in bounds. And it looks like from up here, very thick grass. So if you can drop these kicks and get them in on the grass, they're not going to roll all that far. But the ball will be spotted on the 35-yard line. And the Blue Knights will get a nice opportunity to try to respond, trailing 6-0. Just under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Ball will be spotted on the far side hash.
Number 15, Heisey under center.
Cooper Heisey is under center with 2 in the backfield and 2 to the left. Heisey with the handoff, but smothered is Prince Hall. As tackled by at least 3 or 4 Falcons. So they headed to the outside where there was really no protection for the runner Hall. So a loss of 5 on the play, a little over 5. So we'll call it 2nd and 15 for Wyoming Seminary.
From the 30-yard line for the Blue Knights.
So now Heisey might be forced to throw as he is in the shotgun. Hall back behind him. And 2 receivers to the left. And they'll try to go right up the middle, but a big push. And getting the first initial contact, the captain, Corey Smith.
Hand up the middle, the number 2. Hall again.
Smith, the junior, 6'2", 235.
Little passel of Falcon tackle is led by number 6, Corey Smith.
The ball will be spotted on the 29-yard line. No gain, 3rd and 15 now. You can call it 16. It's purely on the 29-yard line. I can't imagine them being conservative once again. But only 2 receivers. 1 on each side. Again in the shotgun. They're going to pass and big pressure and a sack. Right up the middle, Jack Barnes got through. Defensive dominance on the first 3 plays of this game for the Peddie Falcons.
Up the middle to take down the quarterback.
So Wyoming Seminary will have little choice but to punt.
4th and 21 from there.
That's a loss of 5 on the play. So 4th and a country mile. And again, the Blue Knights will punt. 2 back to receive, including Servasia Dennis. And the punt end over end, just avoiding the onrush. Little spiral goes to the midfield stripe, and it'll stop on the 49-yard line of Peddie. So really good field position for the Falcons. 6:40 left to go here in the first. 6-0 in favor of Peddie School. And it didn't start off all that strong for Peddie again. 4th and 5 that turned into a touchdown, and then 3 very strong defensive plays. And right now, the Blue Knights have to figure out something as far as getting some momentum back in this game. Whistle blows and the play clock is running. It is internal on the timing official. As Balan will go under center with 4 receivers and 1 man in the backfield. Screen pass and flags fly. And it was at the snap.
Flags on the play, blown dead.
And it will be a false start against Peddie. So just before the snap, somebody moved. The only real damage that's being done against Peddie so far on the offensive side has been penalties. And this is where the Blue Knights need to try to take some advantage. Again, 1st and 15 now. And when we got here a few hours ago to set everything up, it was cloudy. low 70s. It's warmed up and the sun is out. You may have heard through the crowd mic. The coach is saying, make sure you stay hydrated. That is absolutely true with all the padding these guys have to wear. 2 in the backfield, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, as they continue to look for signals. Belong on the shotgun, and looks like we have a delay of game.
Delay of game penalty.
A little trouble here offensively for Peddie. Really not everybody on the same page here. So now it'll be 1st and 20. All the way back to the 39-yard line. Still pretty good field position. Now, if you're Wyoming Seminary, you've got to be salivating here. An opportunity to get the ball back relatively quickly, force a 3 and out. They change up the formation once again. And in motion, as it is handed off right up the middle to the 40. Cuts to the inside, 45, and to the 50-yard line. As tumbling down is the sophomore Aiden Nash.
Freshman Chief Smith on the carry. Picks up 10 yards.
So picks up 11 yards, gets to just about the midfield stripe. Call it 2nd and 9. Mason Ship to the right. Marlon Johnson, one of the receivers, to the left. 2 in the backfield. High snap. Ballon brings it down. And a big tackle in the backfield. Throwing his man down is Mike Leland, the senior from Cheltenham, PA. So now it'll be 3rd and long.
3rd and 13.
Loss of 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 13. From the 46-yard line of the Peddie Falcons, leading 6-0. 5:30 and counting left to go in the first quarter. And still a lot of discussion, not only in the huddle, but the entire huddle kind of looking to the sideline. Gotta try to find a way to get these plays in a little bit quicker and get the communication up. And Bellin back to throw. Nobody in the backfield. Throws over the middle. That is caught and good enough for a 1st down. Nice catch by Khalil Majid. As he just stretches over to the 40-yard line, maybe a little short. Oh, that's going to depend on the spot. It doesn't seem like a very friendly spot. And it will be 4th down. Wow. I honestly thought that he stretched to the 40. So if they went for it 4th and 5 last series, they're certainly going to go for it 4th and inches on this drive. This will be an official timeout. And I think they're going to, they might reassess the spot here, or at least get a measurement. But just eyeballing it here, it doesn't look like they've made it. But again, the spot looks like it's a little off. Again, I thought he stretched to just short of the 40, maybe the nose of the ball into the 40. But the knees may have already been down. So they're not going to change the spot, but they're not going to bring the sticks out. But yeah, it's going to be a few chain links off. About 1.5 feet off.
Again, 4th and very short.
And again, I would certainly imagine that Peddie's going to go with a big package, use their size advantage on the line, just push forward. And I would imagine that Ballon may just lean forward, but he's actually in the shotgun. Now he's going to go under center.
Ballon under center.
And again, I would just imagine a push forward, and that's exactly what it is. Quarterback sneak, push from behind, and he gets over the 40-yard line. And we're looking for about a 2-yard gain to the 38 and a 1st down for the Falcons.
Ballon keeps and picks up a couple of yards and the 1st down. 1st and 10 from about the 39-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Peddie School. As again, this drive started extremely slowly with a couple of penalties. 1st and 20. But they were able to fight through that. Something they may not be able to get away with later in the season in interconference play. So again, 1st and 10 from the Blue Knights 38. Pass across far side. That is dropped at the 30. right through the hands of Marlon Johnson.
Milan looking for Marlon Johnson.
That'll be second and 10.
Second and 10 from the 39.
And this is where, if you're the Blue Knights, you obviously, especially the coaching staff, remember last season. You want to take the advantage here, as Peddie's not incredibly sharp right now. Try to get some points on the board. And put that much more pressure and trying to get some hope. Again, last year it was a tough game for the Blue Knights. Back to throw once again. Looks over, and it's dropped again. Marlon Johnson. Hands up towards the face mask, just could not bring it down to himself. So it'll be third and 10 from the 38. But Peddie's been giving a steady diet of running plays, but once they start passing, having a little issue. Just completely locking up together. But they'll spread it out again. Patrick Smith, lone man in the backfield. Two receivers on either side. Again, in the shotgun is Bellon. Bellon back to throw. Looking over the middle, and that is caught at the 30-yard line. Spins to the outside. Lowering his head and forced out of bounds was Mechie. As he gets to the 21-yard line, that'll be good enough for another Falcon first down. So Peddie, it just seems that they're doing everything they can to make their own drives more difficult.
First and 10 from the 21-yard line now for the Falcons.
But they've been able to overcome a couple of rough series. So you head towards the later stages of the first quarter. It'll be first and 10 from the 21. Trips to the left, one to the right. And again, Smith, the freshman, in the backfield. He's in motion. Back to throw, heading towards the end zone, angled, and it is incomplete. I think that is a little bit too high for Khalil Majid.
Blonde looking for Mechie again. Just a little high, it's incomplete.
And the timing was a little off as well. It's kind of had to reach out, do a little bit of a leap. So second and 10 from the 21. And from the Falcons here, I may decide to try running the ball because that seems to be the most successful course. But a good job by the defensive line of Wyoming Seminary. Getting a little push early on, maybe making the Falcons rethink things. Trips to the left once again. Back to throw, looking for the screen, nothing there. A lot of pressure. Quarterback stays up somehow, and then he is spun back, and they're going to say he's in the grasp. And it'll be a sack for Mike Leyland. Second time he's gotten pressure in the backfield. And it'll be intriguing to see where they spot the ball. It'll be third down.
5-yard loss.
Loss of 5 on the play. Third and 16 from the 26. But Peddie so far has been quite successful in these long situations. This is where I'm sure Wyoming Seminary hopes that they can learn from their previous mistakes and find a way to contain the Falcons and force them to either punt, go for it on 4th, or for a long field goal. It'll be trips to the right, to the left, nobody in the backfield. Plenty of motion here. Smith is across. Back to throw Bellon. Over the middle, caught to the 5, cuts up the middle, touchdown, Peddie. Khalil Majid found a seam and squeezed his way into the end zone.
Sophomore Khalil Majid.
And it is now a 12-0 game.
The Blue Knight defense makes the catch, and it's a 26-yard Peddie Falcon touchdown.
That must be the secret for Peddie's success. 3rd and 4th and long, and then convert touchdowns. That is obviously not true, but it's worked so far this one. As they're going to go for the single point.
Michael Tile in for the extra point.
As Michael Tile, last time he basically kicked it right into the line. See if we can get underneath it this time. As Toe pokes it over the bar, and it's good. And for the PAT, with 2:26 to go in the first, it's now 13-0 Falcons.
In the first quarter.
And as we've talked about, they should find themselves very fortunate to be in this situation, simply because it just has not gone according to plan offensively. But they've made the big play when they've needed to. Again, this is just the second game of the season for both of these teams. And again, non-conference action. And they still have a couple of more games, even though next week's a tough one for Peddie. They've got to go down to Washington, D.C. to take on Gonzaga. That team they lost to last year.
Support our senior class, the class of 2019.
So this is, kind of game that you can go, okay, we're going to look past Wyoming Seminary and kind of see what happens and prepare for the Gonzaga game. But Wyoming Seminary is giving them all they can, but it still is a 13-0 game, lead in the first quarter.
Michael Tile has the ball before
so Michael Tile will kick it off once again.
Here come the Blue Knights. Number 2, Prince Hall. And number 22.
And it'll be Hall and Lane once again. Deep for the Blue Knights, but previous 2 kickoffs in this game have been squib kicks. Previous one by Peddie ended up going out of bounds. See if he goes right up the middle with this one. Tries to get deep. He'll go up the middle, and it'll squeeze its way through. And it's picked up by Hall. Hall, he had a knee down, so that's going to be considered down. And it looked like he tried to run onto it, but may have just dropped his knee a little bit. So that's a good kick for Wyoming Seminary. For Peddie, rather. As it'll be 1st and 10 from the Blue Knight 15. So a long field for the Blue Knights to deal with. Their last series, they win 3 and out. So if you thought Peddie has had trouble offensively, well, Wyoming Seminary, a little bit of the same, but in a much smaller sample size. Heisey under center with 2 to the right and 2 to the backfield. As he fakes the handoff and is back to throw under pressure, and he is sacked on the play. Ball is loose, but they're going to say he was down.
Number 77, Chris Mayo.
And the big sack there by Chris Mayo, the junior from Richland, New Jersey. Loss of 4 on the play. 2nd and 14 now for the Blue Knights. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
That's going to be 2nd and 14 from their own 11-yard line now for the Blue Knights.
And in that huddle right now, they've got to be trying to work something out to figure out how to get the quarterback some time. The secondary is certainly recognizing as they are really pinching up. And that's a broken play, but it is handed off and a short gain, if any. Prince Hall right up the middle. But it didn't seem like the quarterback and running back really had a good communication there. It took a couple of seconds for that handoff to occur, which allows that very powerful defensive line for Peddie to kind of get through. And there was nowhere to go.
Their own 13-yard line.
So it'll be 3rd and 14. As they may have gave him an inch or so on that play. Again, it looks like it has to be quick strikes for Wyoming Seminary if they can get anything going in this game. I would imagine trying to spread things out if you're the Blue Knights. Heisey under center. And he will circle to the right. Pass up ahead is incomplete at the feet of Todd Phillips. And it looks like it's another 3rd and out for Wyoming Seminary. Just can't get anything going offensively.
It's incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th and 13 for the Blue Knights from their own 13-yard line.
And although the Peddie offense has struggled so far in this one, leading 13-0, certainly doesn't seem like they're struggled, but a couple of forced long plays, but it's forced long drives, and it keeps the Wyoming Seminary defense on the field.
Number 21, Majid.
2 back for Peddie to receive, and they're not that deep. Inside the 40-yard line. The snap is high. End over end kick. And that'll drop to the 35 and take a Wyoming Seminary roll. And it'll be outside the 45-yard line.
It'll
be first and 10 from the 46.
Wyoming 7, 46.
As Peddie will have it first and 10.
From the Wyoming 7,
We're down to 28 seconds left to go in the first quarter. 13-0 in favor of the Peddie Falcons. Inside that huddle for Peddie right now, the message certainly has to be, all right, let's clean things up. Again, the reason why Peddie has struggled a bit offensively is simply because of penalties and lack of communication. Certainly early season, I wouldn't call them jitters, but early season mistakes being made by the Falcons, but still find themselves up by 13. QB back to throw. Pass up the middle, and that is caught by Mason Ship, and he's forced down just over the 35-yard line, and right away a first down for Peddie School.
Pick up of 12 yards for Peddie Falcon first down.
And it does seem like between the linebackers and the safeties, Peddie receivers have found themselves a nice little hole to nestle in.
Excuse me, 34-yard line.
So it'll be first and 10 from the 34. And if they can keep finding that hole, this game could get away from the Blue Knights very quickly. As time is called, and that is the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one, Peddie leading 13-0. We'll take a real quick break. Back for the second in just a couple of minutes. You're watching Peddie School Football.
13-0 with 3 quarters to play. Don't forget our class of
live from Schumann Field in Hightstown, New Jersey. Second quarter action has begun as Peddie is on the march once again. The handoff to Patrick Smith. Cuts to the outside of the 30. Squeezes through a tackle and forced down hard on a big hit by Kyle Costello. So he'll get credit to the 26-yard line. It'll be second and 3. And we'll call it 2. From the 26-yard line, needs to get to the 24. Peddie School leading by a score of 13-0. Tom Wilms here. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Play-by-Play Sports Network, here on YouTube. 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 in the backfield. And back to throw once again is Ballant. Gets it across for Smith. Over the 20, cuts to the inside of the 15, still digging, but finally forced out of bounds by the combination of Todd Phillips and Kyle Costello. Yeah, Smith there in the backfield, but then he released, and everyone thinking he was going to go up the middle to that soft underbelly of the Wyoming Seminary defense. But it's another first down for the Peddie Schools. They are inside the 15 to the 13-yard line and in the red zone. And the previous 2 scores for Peddie came on long plays late in a series. A 4th and 5 and a 3rd and 15. Right now it's a 1st and 10 again from the 13-yard line. They'll go 2 receivers on either side and 1 in the backfield. This is going to be the bread and butter for the Falcons, it seems. In the shotgun, back to throw, Ballant. Ballant under pressure, steps up, fires over the middle, caught at the 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Peddie for Marlon Johnson. Marlon Johnson just squeezes his way through and found that little hole that we've talked about. 19-0 Peddie, pending the PAT. And that is a good job by Marlon Johnson, who struggled with a couple of drops early on in this game. to not only get a next reception, but a TD reception at that. So Michael Tile will go for the extra point. And that's right into the line, blocked. And what it is, it looks like he feels the pressure and kind of toe pokes it instead of really driving into it. Second time that he has basically driven that kick into the line. So the failed PAT keeps it at 19-0 in favor of Peddie. And it'll be a third offensive series for Wyoming Seminary. And that break during the drive and in between quarters, I'd like to think that the offense is just getting together and trying to formulate something new, something a little bit different, because honestly the defensive line for Peddie has dominated the offensive line. I think they outweigh them by a good average of 30 pounds. So it will be a challenge for Wyoming Seminary to try to stay in this game. As right now at this point, they are 3 scores down. So Tile will kick off once again. And this is where maybe Wyoming Seminary could take advantage. They've seen Tile's leg a couple of times with PATs and the kickoffs. Maybe they understand that maybe the leg isn't the strongest, as he's going right up the middle with these squib kicks. Maybe you just bring everybody forward and try to get some yardage on it. As Hall is back once again with Lean. So here comes the kick, and it's another end over end, but shallow. That is scooped up inside the 10-yard line. To the outside, Prince Hall. He gets over the 25, but then wrestled down with help by Mason Ship. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 28. And again, Blue Knights still looking for their first down. They've gone 3 and out twice. And they've tried the run play, but it gets snuffed out relatively quickly. And not only that, any pass play, they're just not giving the quarterback enough time. Oh, Heisey, as highly touted as he is coming over from Scotch Plains High School for his post-grad year, he needs a few seconds to get it to his receivers. The timeout will be called. And down to a knee goes Heisey. Looks like he's just tying his shoe after the timeout. So first timeout called by the Blue Knights. And this is a very pivotal part of this game. Just a minute into the second quarter. But this is very close to must-score territory for Wyoming Seminary. They at least have to get a couple of first downs, get a drive, get a little rest for their defense, who is starting to look a little weary, simply because they've been on the field the entire game.
Legendary Peddie football talent.
Wyoming Seminary head coach Jim Anderson, second season with the Blue Knights. Again, last year a 3-5 campaign. But the scuttlebutt around Northwest Pennsylvania about this Blue Knight squad is improvement. As they'll try to regroup here and figure out a way to beat this Peddie school defense that has allowed pretty much nothing, if anything, negative yardage. Blue Knights will spread things out with trips to the right, one to the left, and one in the backfield. As in Heisey. Correction, it's a direct snap to Kyle Costello. He gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. A little bit of a wildcat look. No, Wyoming Seminary trying to change things up, but not much in the way of success. So no gain on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. As now under center is Heisey, and he'll back off. Right next to him is Costello. And trips to the right, one to the left. Fakes the handoff, back to throw, under pressure right away, spins, and a flag flies, and the quarterback is sacked. The guess is that it's going to be a holding call. But squeezing through the line, the senior, C.J. Presley, to pick up at least part of the sack. And that penalty will be declined. They'll take it at the spot. And it'll be 3rd and long for the Blue Knights. C.J. Presley, 6'5", 270 senior from Philadelphia. Ball will be spotted on the 20-yard line. 8-yard loss on the play.
Loss of about 8 back to the 20-yard line where it'll be 3rd and 18.
And I can't imagine Wyoming Seminary keeping this spread formation. They may need these receiver slots to kind of protect the quarterback. They need to try to keep it simple. But they are going to go with trips to the right once again. One to the left and one in the backfield. Only a 3-man line, and they jump, but they get back, and nope. Not to the liking of the near side official, and it'll be offside against Peddie. Only 5 yards, so not a disaster for the Falcons. As they'll spot that ball now on the 25-yard line. But again, I can't imagine the Peddie coaching staff being very happy right now with some of the execution. If you're going to have a game that you're not going to execute well, you want it to be in a game like this early on. It's direct snap. And it's trying to come up as Costello. He gets to just short of the 30-yard line, but well short of the first down. He'll get spotted at the 29.
Number 6 Dwyer on the
So it'll be a gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be 4th and 11. From the 29, and once again, Wyoming Seminary will be forced to punt.
It's going to be 4th and 11 for the Blue Knights from their own 24.
So another 3 and out, so to speak.
Number 21, Majid.
And the two
Number 8, Dennis,
returners are not all that deep. Khalil Majid is on his own 40-yard line, but the spot's going to change as flags fly. And it's too many men. 12 on the field.
12 on the field for the Wyoming Seminary Blue
So
Knights.
they'll be pushed back another 5.
It's going to take them back 5 yards to their own 24-yard line.
So we
Once
punt
again, 4th
from the
down.
24.
Jackson Allen back to kick.
Now Majid, the returner, is at the 45, sneaking inside. Punt is a nice spiral, and caught at the 46-yard line by Majid. Cuts back under pressure, spins away from trouble, tries the near side, and gets over to the 50, to the 40, to the 45, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and he dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Peddie. Khalil Majid dancing before taking the return up the sideline, tiptoeing his way, and getting inside for the score. And it's now 25-0, but a flag. And that is in the potential area of either a hold or a illegal block. But the way they're talking to the Peddie coaching staff, I would think that maybe it could be against Wyoming Seminary, waiting for the signal. A blindside block called against Peddie, so take the points off the board.
It's going to negate a beautiful run by Majid.
So Majid can't be happy with that, but he might not have scored
15 yards back
without
to the
that
point of the
block.
foul.
15-yard penalty, but still really good field position for the Falcons, as they will start 1st and 10 from the Blue Knight
Falcons will
48-yard
start
line.
1st and 10 from the Wyoming Seminary 48-yard line.
And don't tell this coaching staff that it's 19-0. Again, we've talked about it probably ad nauseum, but to be honest with you, this is where you want to clean things up. If you're Peddie, trying to get a nice clean drive, no penalties, no mistakes, She'll go trips to the right, one to the left, one in the backfield. As still in, Bilon. As he has Smith right next to him, fakes the handoff. Now slant over down for Johnson. Johnson trying to go up the middle to the 20, to the 30, to the 25. Breaks free. Touchdown, Peddie. Marlon Johnson, his second touchdown of the game for the Rutgers commit. And now it's 25-0. It just seems that the Blue Knights just don't have an answer for this Peddie School attack. Size advantage, skill advantage, everything advantage so far. So Tile will try to make it to 26. He gets underneath it, end over end, and it's good.
That one is up and through for a
so the PAT is good. Now Tile 2 for 4.
In the first half.
And with 7:48 to go in the first half, it's now 26-0 Falcons.
As you're watching this afternoon's contest, don't forget our seniors.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning of the season for both of these teams.
Selling concessions on the other side of the booth from the football field.
It's coming up in just a couple of weeks. Both teams will go into conference play. And that's where it really ramps up.
Their efforts to raise money for their prom and for a phenomenal.
Just 5 conference games for the Peddie School in the Mid-Atlantic. Coming up next, it'll be Gonzalo College High School. That's down in the D.C. area. Then out at Malvern Prep. Then return home against the Hill School. Then nearby Lawrenceville. And all home games we covered here on the Play-by-Play Sports Network. And all games archived as well, so if you want to relive today's action, click on the exact same link and it'll still be there.
Number 55 Tile at the 40-yard line to kick off for the Falcons.
And it's a great opportunity here for Peddie to really work on some things heading towards that conference schedule. And again, a tough game next week down in D.C. And Wyoming Seminary still has a long way to go in this one to try to pick up some points and get back into this. End over end kick. Goes all the way back to the 14-yard line where it's picked up by Hall. Tries to go up right up the middle and finds a seam to the 40, to the 50. Has room down the sideline to the 30, to the 20. Has an angle and he is forced out of bounds by John Mechie. But what a return.
Number 2 Hall finds a seam.
As Prince Hall gets something going here for the Blue Knights. It'll be a very short field for Wyoming Seminary, trying to pick up their first points.
Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights from the Peddie 15-yard line after that.
Always spotted on the 15-yard line.
65-70-yard return by number 2 Hall.
That return of 72 yards up that left side sideline. And now the Blue Knights really taking their time getting out of this huddle. Again, they've had very little in the way of positive yardage besides that special teams play. In the I formation with 2 to the right. Fakes the handoff. Under pressure again, rolls out to the right, and he is sacked. The pressure by Majid, and the finish by Lennox Lamar. And this has to be real frustration here for Cooper Heisey. He's thinking, all right, I've got myself a nice short field. He had a little bit of time. As it looks like that the Falcons have really found a hole right up the middle. And again, they've got a serious size advantage on the line, does Peddie. QB under center this time, looking a little blitz. They get through, but hand it off right up the middle. As Alex Christeller gets through.
Carried by number 22, Lane, up the middle, picks up a couple of yards.
Correction, that was Javon
By
Lane.
number 54, Jack Barnes.
The ball is spotted on the 23-yard line. And a timeout has been called. First, I thought it might be an official timeout, but it looks like it's going to be Peddie who will get charged. First timeout for the Falcons.
Called by Peddie. It's going to be 3rd and about 18.
Still a very long way to go here if you are the Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights.
Wyoming Sem Blue Knights.
So looks like that was kind of spearheaded on injury. It's Cam Barbato. Limped off. But such an advantage by the Peddie School line. As Wyoming Seminary has to try to find a way to either draw them in, maybe a quick screen or a slant. Trying to just quick strikes here from this quarterback who is capable. Again, we mentioned Heisey last year at Scotch Plains High School, throwing for over 3,000 yards and over 20 touchdowns. So certainly has the capability. But heck, any quarterback at any level needs time, and he just hasn't been able to get any of it. Down to 6:30 to go in the first half of play. Peddie all over the Blue Knights. A score of 26-0. Heisey under center. Dwyer and Hall behind him. And two to the left. And Phillips and Kachowski. They'll hand it off to Hall, going right up the middle, through the line. That's a gain of about 3 to the 20-yard line. It'll be 4th and long. 4th and just about 15.
Gain of about 3 or 4. That's going to bring up 4th down. And about 15 from the Peddie 20-yard line.
And it looks like, by the way everyone's looking at the coaching staff for Wyoming Seminary, that they're going to go for this. And a lot in the way of high school teams has anybody with a leg at this field goal. If they were to go for it that way, it would be over 40 yards. And a timeout being called by the Blue Knights. This is their second charge timeout.
Timeout, Wyoming Seminary.
And this is them recognizing how huge of a play this is. I wouldn't imagine them just settling for 15 yards. If they can get it, they're going to go end zone if they can. And Peddie defensively has to feel real good about this one. Again, the only play they've given up was a special teams play that was broken by Prince Hall. But still, no first downs for the Blue Knights. And I'm sure Peddie wouldn't mind that little shutout for this first half. It's down to 5:48 to go here in the first half of play. But I certainly would expect Wyoming Seminary to take a pop to the end zone. And they've tried just about every formation. They've spread it out. They've had men in the backfield. But it looks like it will be Heisey with trips to the right, one to the left, and Costello along with him in the backfield. Heisey in the shotgun. Back to throw, steps back, throws to the end zone far side, and it's up and tipped away. Pass was intended, it looks like, for Robert Dwyer. Just couldn't quite get it to him. Might have been Kyle Costello.
Dwyer in the
Oh, that is Dwyer.
tipped away by
Nice defensive work.
number 2, Ship.
Looks like that was Mason Ship who knocked it away. So it turns over on downs. And it'll be Peddie ball. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. So there went the best opportunity of the game so far for Wyoming Seminary. They couldn't pick up any yards and actually lost 5.
1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
And certainly reminiscent of last week's contest where Bishop Sullivan couldn't get anything going offensively as well. They had negative yards rushing. Right now, for the Blue Knights, it's negative yards overall. So Peddie may be looking for a dagger, as there'll be too many men, 12 on the field for Peddie. As late getting off was Marlon Johnson. And had himself an up and down game, a couple of drops, that little mistake, but he also has a couple of touchdown receptions. Yeah, and these are plays and instances that maybe Peddie can get away with today, but once you take on Gonzaga, Hun School, and everyone else in the Maple, those teams might make you pay. So it will be a 5-yard penalty. And it'll be 1st and 15. They haven't moved the ball yet, as Chris Maleo, the coach for Peddie, wants an explanation. 4th year here with the Falcons. Really built something special. And if you thought last year's Peddie team was strong, this year, at least on paper, with the number of commits, potential commits, the size, the skill that this team has, could be even better than last year. So 2 on either side, 1 in the backfield, and a screen pass. And over the pass is Dennis over the middle, and it is caught. Oh, great play. John Mechie had to leap up for on the pass from Servassier Dennis. But a little trickery here from Peddie, and they give themselves another 1st down. Gain of 25 on the play. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line.
Down for the Falcons. Now 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line.
So again, Peddie certainly not resting with a big lead late here in the 1st half. In the shotgun, and it's off of Bellon, and he is tackled down after recovery. Jacob Kaminsky with a big tackle. They're still fighting for it, but I believe he's going to be down. And it'll be 2nd and long. Just right off the fingertips, a high snap. And Bellon just could not recover quickly. 13-yard loss, so 2nd and long. But Peddie has done well in these situations as Bellon gets it out to Majid. Majid up the sideline. Tiptoes his way over the 40-yard line. Gets to the 43 and recovers some of that lost yardage. It'll be 3rd and 12.
12 or 13-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and about 12.
Well, got about halfway in the somewhat, well, certainly more manageable play. But flag is down in the backfield. And it looks to be against the Blue Knights. It is roughing the passer, and that's going to be a 1st down. That's something that the Blue Knights really could not afford. That is extremely tough. I can understand some of the frustration with the Blue Knights, but in this day and age where they protect the quarterback even more so than ever, got to be careful. Back to throw, thrown to the near side for Johnson. Johnson dances inside, gets to the 40, trying to squeeze his way through to the 35. To the 20, to the 15, to the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. Marlon Johnson, very elusive for his 3rd touchdown of the game. And it's now 32-0.
All the way up the field for another Peddie Falcon football touchdown.
They had him surrounded, but still Johnson, the senior from Ambler, Pennsylvania, gets himself through. So, something that Peddie's done very well in this game, the mistakes made by Wyoming Seminary, they have been capitalized on. PAT coming from Michael Tile. And he gets this one way up in the air and through to make it 33-0. So he's 3 for 5 on PATs. And the Falcons have turned this game into a rout. In spite of a slow start offensively. And still, some of the execution is wanting. But they have done enough to take care of business here against the Blue Knights. Again, we are just in the 1st half of play. And last year it was a 62-0 game, and we may be on our way to another performance like that. But we talked during the pregame about the talk of Wyoming Seminary and their improvement. But it hasn't shown a whole lot here against Peddie. And this is a lesson that can be learned by the Blue Knights. Yeah, I would imagine that offense, that whole offensive core, along with the coaching staff, just trying to get together, draw something up to get some positive yardage on this next drive. They're fourth of the game. And they've not only gone 3 and out, they've gone 3 and negative on the previous drives. So once again, Hall and Lane are deep.
Hall and Lane back deep for the Blue Knights.
End over end kick lands on the 15. Picked up by Hall on the 10. Going the wrong way, but now trying to get to the corner to the 15, and he is tackled down. Good chase there.
Broke a couple of tackles. Taken down finally by
Number 42, but we do not have the name for number 42.
taken down by number 42. We don't have that name in the program.
And this is part of the game, again, when the score gets out of hand, that maybe, just maybe, they start emptying the bench a little bit. Maybe players that aren't as often used get some game experience. 4:17 to go in the first half. Laid onto the field is Alex Gilbertson, wearing number 7. He takes his players on the line. As this is right up the middle, but it goes nowhere, and it actually goes backwards by about 5 yards. They'll spot this on the 12. It'll be 2nd and long once again. 2nd and 5, we'll call that. Or 2nd and 15, rather.
Gilbertson with a nice play, taking the tackle for a loss, about 4 yards.
Kyle Costello coming
Pushes
off.
the Blue Knights
Coming back
to
on is
their
Prince
own
Hall,
12-yard line. 2nd and about 14.
along with Robert Dwyer.
Number 22, Lane on the carry for the Blue Knights.
3:40 and counting left to go here in the first half of play. A 33-0 score in favor of the Falcons. Blue Knights have possession, trying to get forward momentum. Run up the middle, but they go nowhere. C.J. Presley and Jack Barnes were both near the tackle.
Number 2, Hall on the carry up the middle for the Blue Knights.
Prince Hall, the senior from West Palm Beach, Florida, finding no room.
Jumping on top of him for the tackle. Gain of about
This is
1.
where Wyoming Seminary, if they have it in their repertoire, they've got to try some misdirection.
Blue Knights now from their own
Because they are getting Peddie, I wouldn't say over pursuing because they haven't been caught in it, but they've been able to snuff out just about everything that the Blue Knights have thrown at them. Run, pass, doesn't matter. So play action, screen, something a little bit different. If they can, it'll be 2 to the right and the I formation. Peddie looking for the blitz, but they have back off. Rolling out, Heisey. Pass up ahead, and it's, just out of the reach of Todd Phillips. If he gets that cleanly down the sideline, he is gone. As he snuck back behind the secondary. Jack Barnes was the closest. And you could kind of understand that Peddie getting a little bit lax defensively because they've been so successful. But you got to respect the Blue Knights taking a shot there. Heisey just could not quite connect as he was in motion, rolling out to his right. So 4th and long, and another Blue Knight punt. Sebastian Dennis is the up receiver. He's on the 35. Kickoff from the goal line. As that'll tumble all the way up the far side, and that'll be touched up. Still in Blue Knight territory. A punt of about 40 yards. And the Falcons take over First and 10 from the Blue Knight 47. Up 33-0, 2:20 left to go here in the first half of play. And this could be a situation with another score, and heading into the second half, we can find ourselves going through some running time.
Falcons come right out into their formation, one and shotgun.
Trips to the left, one to the right, one in the backfield. Back to throw is Bellon. And then Keeps goes up the middle. Flag is down right at the line of scrimmage. A couple of players got tangled up. He gets enough for the first down, but we'll see what the call will be. It'll be holding, and that's coming back. Yeah, a couple of now seemingly minor mistakes being made by the Peddie offense. That's going to go back 10 yards. It'll be second and 20. Well, second and 19. As we're down to 2:11 to go in the first half of play.
It's going to make it first and 19 from their own 46-yard line.
Oh, they left the kicking block out there. That could have been dangerous the other way. And at first, the official actually threw the beanbag instead of the flag, but there was no fumble. Kind of confused me a bit. Little pressure being put on, but screen over now for Mechie. Mechie up the middle to the 45 to the 40. Squeezes through with blockers, and he's going to go all the way to the 10-5 touchdown Peddie. John Mechie with another long run. A 42-yard touchdown reception. And it's now 39-0. Mechie, one of the captains of this Falcon club, heading to Alabama. And they are getting a very fine force in Mechie on both sides of the ball. So now, trying to make it a 40-0 game is Tile. 3 for 5 on his PATs. And this one is blocked. Got underneath it, but it's a pretty good push as they went off of Mike Leland. So it stays at 39-0. 1:49 to go here in the first half of play. As the Peddie School has dominated this game pretty much from the jump. And I would imagine the second half is going to be filled with players we didn't see much of in the first half. And be getting some game action, some experience for the underclassmen. But also an opportunity for Peddie to work on some things, because of course there are things to work on. And heck, at one point, a couple of scores ago, they actually tried to and converted on a trick play with the receiver option. So that is something they can take out of their playbook later in the season into conference play and into playoff action. A long way to go before we get there. Just the second game of the season for both of these clubs. As Wyoming Seminary coming off a 7-point win over the Hill School. But again, they've had a couple of issues in this one, with Peddie School just giving them too much. Two back to receive once again for Seminary. Hall and Lane. It's been going to Hall for the most part. And last time out, he found a hole and got pretty good yardage. And it's going to go to him again, end over end. He picks it up at the 15-yard line. Looking up that sideline again. There goes up the middle to the 40, then dragged down. Servassier Dennis getting in his way.
A 15-yard line kick, grabs the kick and takes it back 24 yards.
So they will spot that on the 40-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Knights. Again, still looking for their first down of this game.
From their own 40-yard line for the Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights.
It's a pretty common setup, at least over the last bunch of series for the Blue Knights. Two receivers, both to the left and in the I formation. But it'll be up to the offensive line to give some room. But they'll hand it off, taken here by Lean, cuts to the outside, gets positive yardage to the 45-yard line. And to the 46, gain of 6 on the play. And a manageable second down. And again, there haven't been too many of those, if any. Actually, they'll go to the 47-yard line, so 2nd and 3.
From their own 47-yard line for the Blue Knights.
So that might be a little bit of a change in the scheme for the Blue Knights. They've been handing off mostly to Hall, but maybe getting Lean back there as well will help things out. Little surprised that Heisey is under center, considering the push that the defensive line has picked up from the Falcons. Very tight once again. As he will hand it off this time to Hall. Hall goes to the outside, gets the first down and more to the 40, to the 30. Trying to get through to the 20, but he is wrestled down as Mason Ship gets in the way, and that's the first down of the game for the Blue Knights.
Hall on the carry.
I don't like what Prince Hall did there, as he was cut off by Ship. Decided, you know what, if I'm going to be forced down or out of bounds, I might as well initiate the contact. He just lowered his shoulder, kind of leapt into him. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Looks like a timeout has been called. And it's a Peddie school timeout, I believe. So they're second charged, and 1 left for each. Down to 1:23 to go here in the first half of play. They again finally give up their first down. It was a pretty big one. So I'm sure that they would love, with 1:23 left, to just force another, from this point, 3 and out. So certainly wouldn't call it a big stop as far as the scheme in this game. But important here for the Peddie school. But just as important for Wyoming Seminary, just trying to get some positive momentum. As they'll go trips to the right, really spreading things out. It's in the shotgun is Heisey. To the left is Dwyer. And nobody in the backfield. And a timeout called. That is tough. Timeout called by the Blue Knights. Their final timeout of the half. And again, a timeout after a timeout. The only way that really happens is if you really hate the defensive scheme that you're looking at. Because you would think that after a timeout, you just have to tell the players what the play is. There's really no need for much in the way of conversation and communication. But maybe they got to the line and coaching staff and Heisey just saw what was out there and said, nope, we don't want to do this at all. But now they'll have no choice. And I'm sure that Peddie school is going to change things up. And I would certainly expect them to be very aggressive, as they have been from the beginning of this game. Basically getting a ton of push right up the middle. Those inside linemen for the Peddie school just powering their way through. And again, we talked about it earlier with the seemingly size advantage of this Peddie school line over Wyoming Seminary. So basically keep the same formation, but one in the backfield. Now back to throw is Heisey. Rolls out to the left, squares, and then throws over the middle, and it is caught. Touchdown, Wyoming Seminary. That was a beautiful play. And that is a big catch. Robert Dwyer able to jump up and make that play.
Dwyer able to get in the air and catch that touchdown for the Blue Knights.
So it's 39-6, and they'll go for the extra point. Coming in is William Ziegler.
Will Ziegler on the
and holding Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips on the hole.
And see if they can make it 7. Get some positive momentum heading towards the locker room. The kick is up, end over end, and it's good. It tucked just inside the far side goalpost. So at 1:14 left to go in the first half, Blue Knights on the board.
1:14 left in the first half.
Yeah, it's now 39-7. So as much as Peddie certainly would have loved to keep the shutout going, not to be. But I'm sure things they will have to work on. Maybe they're going to try to, well, they're certainly going to try to pick up another score before time runs out. Again, with a scoreline like this, is a chance for Peddie to kind of rehearse a 2-minute, 1-minute drill here. They have one timeout left to work with. So again, this is something they can kind of work out for the rest of the season without a whole lot in the way of actual game pressure, being up by so much, up by 32. The officials certainly giving both teams a lot of time. And we're blowing the play alive there. Neither team is really eager to get onto the field again. It's turned into a pretty warm day. Again, with all the padding these guys are wearing, certainly adds some temperature to that.
Back deep for the Falcons to receive the kickoff.
That'll be John Mechie.
Number 4 Ziegler will kick off for the Blue Knights.
Back deep.
40-yard line.
I think that's also Patrick Smith back. William Ziegler is ready to kick off, or just about ready to kick off for the Blue Knights. And the only other time he's kicked off was the opening kickoff. And it was a squib right at the middle. Let's see if he tries to take this deep. Judging by the way he's marking back, he's going to try to put some yardage under this kick. He'll take the approach, and he'll spin it out of bounds. Oh, just got it on the side of the ball. And the last thing you want to do is give Peddie good field position, and they will, as that'll be spotted on the 35. And the difference from where it went out of bounds to the spot of the ball isn't huge. I certainly would have preferred to go up the middle and get a bounce. Maybe force it deep, force a return. But instead, not only did they get the ball in the 35, no time comes off the clock. Again, 1:14 to go in the first half. 39-7 Peddie. One timeout remaining. As it'll be 2 to either side, 1 in the backfield. Ballon back to throw. Connects with Johnson. He's already got 3 touchdowns, but he is wrapped up.
Ballon hits Johnson on the
Chris Berg with the tackle. With a little help from Robert Dwyer. Clock is running with 57 seconds to go. Gain of 6 on the play, 2nd and 4. Snap is low, fumbled, then picked up by Ballon. Ballon under pressure and fumbled again. It's still loose at the 30-yard line, but picked up by Peddie.
Tough snap. Ballon picks it up, loses the ball again.
And looks like Ballon actually picked up his own fumble twice. And at this point, Peddie might be very happy to just let the rest of the clock go. It's around a 30 seconds and counting. So 3rd and long. And they're going to run a play here. Most likely the last one. A little bit of a rollout. Pass up ahead is caught by Mechie. And he's forced out of bounds. Short of the first down, but he stops the clock. 14 seconds left. Again, 1 timeout remaining for Peddie.
About 14 yards.
As he gets a gain of about 14, it'll be spotted on the 42, right between the 42 and 43-yard line. So 4th and 2.5. I would imagine this being a sideline opportunity. Just trying to get that first down, get out of bounds. And Peddie is going to, looks like they're going to take that final timeout. Oh, they're going to take the delay of game instead. So saving the timeout, but forced back 5 yards. So 4th and long. As they're going to run the clock, and that looks like that'll do it for the first half of play. And that is officially the half. I don't think Peddie recognized that the clock was going to run here. And I think he wanted to run one last play. But it is halftime as the Peddie School has taken a dominating lead, 39-7 over Wyoming Seminary. We'll take a break and come back with third quarter action in just a few minutes. Thanks so much for joining us for Peddie School football.
During this
My name is Adam Collier, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018, and I'll be playing football at the University of Pennsylvania.
I'm Terrell Prince, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018, and I've committed to play at the College of the Holy Cross.
Tyler Tedeschi, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018, William & Mary.
Jabbar Garrett, Peddie School, class of 2018, and I'll be playing for the Virginia Cavaliers next year.
I'm Julian Leslie, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018, and I'll be playing football at Sacred Heart next year.
My name's Larry Ross. I'm Peddie Falcon, class of 2018, and I'll be going to Stony Brook University next year.
My name's Dan Dawkins, Peddie football, class of 2018. I'll be attending Vanderbilt University next year.
I'm Alan Walters, quarterback, Peddie class of 2018, and I'm going to Vanderbilt next year.
I'm Thomas Wardle, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018. I'm going to Wagner College.
I'm Tasama Haskins, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018. I'll be playing for Lafayette College next year.
My name is Evan Lovell, Peddie Falcons, class of 2018, and I'm committed to the University of Rhode Island.
My name is Chris Winecki, Peddie class 2018, and I'm attending James Madison University.
Alex Schmidt, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018. I'm headed to Dartmouth College to play football.
My name is Jose Morales, Peddie Falcon, class of 2018, and I'm going to play football at Aquinas College.
Just the doors and opportunities that it's opened being here. It's no other place like Peddie in the world, in my opinion. Miss Rodrigue, first English teacher here, she was tough, but she helped me through a lot of things.
And a pick six for Terrell Prince.
Coach Roach, my advisor, basketball coach. Coach Maleo always texting me, send me in the hallways, you're gonna come play football, right? I was like, I don't know. And of course, like my mom, dad, brother and sister, family, they just supported me in everything. When I made the decision, they were like, one less kid in the house? Like, we love that.
What we hope is, much like Peddie's mission is for this to be a transformational experience, we hope football is the same thing. It's always my goal, it's the goal of our staff, and I know the goal of our athletic department is to be able to transform kids' lives through athletics. We're able to do that with football. We're able to make them more accountable, more responsible. You know, we're just able to see things and growth and maturity that they didn't necessarily have 3 years earlier.
If I hadn't gone here, I probably wouldn't be playing football anymore. I most likely would have tried to walk on somewhere, but I don't know if that would have worked. Getting the opportunity to be here and have the experience of all this, knowing what it's going to feel like, what it's going to be like, it's just unreal. And it's been an incredible journey.
Oh, what a play there by big number 52, Alexander Schmidt.
Everyone here is incredibly talented, and most of us are going to D1 schools, so playing against that kind of competition every day, every practice, really gets you ready for the next level. Both my parents sacrificing everything that they can to get me to where I am. Mr. Cabot admitting me into the school, Mr. Quinn, Mr. Augusto, just anybody here who has affected me, I just want to thank everyone.
The first reason for me to come to Peddie was just to get more options as far as school goes, because before I came here, it was just like a handful, if that. And when I came here, just it changed immensely.
2nd and 1. And that's gonna do it as Javar Garrett ends the game.
First it would be Coach Maleo because he was the first to believe in me back in my old school. My coach really didn't believe in me too much, didn't believe I had the talent to play D1, and Coach Maleo believed in me from the beginning, the moment he saw me. And Coach Parker for just keeping my head on straight and leading the way and just making sure I do what I have to do.
The great part about it is having all these talented players. I can learn a lot from them, they can learn a lot from me. I'm one of the people who has the most experience here, so I'm like showing these guys the ropes and really trying to show them what the culture is about. It's hard work and best is the standard. Giving your all in everything you do, being the best at what you do every day.
Touchdown takes the lead. Adam Conyer with a huge play.
First off, I want to thank God for blessing me with this opportunity. Second off, I want to thank Mr. Cabot for admitting me into the school, and Mr. Quinn, the headmaster, for letting me have this chance at coming to this prestigious high school. And definitely my family, my coaches, Coach Maleo, Coach Parker, Coach Tedeschi, all the assistant coaches that helped me along the way. It's just been a blessing. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Ivy League.
I think that's the best feeling as a coach, to know that you've set kids up for long-term success. You know, I think there's a huge difference between what we see on that football field, that's short-term success, and then that long-term success is to know that they go on to college and they're having, you know, a great academic and athletic experience, that one day that they become great husbands, fathers, friends, whatever it might be, businessmen, CEOs of companies, whatever they decide to get into. I'm hoping that football is a catalyst for all that for the rest of their life.
Grinding every day, all day. Winter, spring, fall, didn't matter. Summertime, didn't matter. We were always together. And Coach Maleo and all the coaches, and really the school, always found a way to try to keep us together and keep us, I guess, tightly knit. Firstly, with my parents, because without them, I wouldn't even have had the opportunity to come to the school. Mr. Augusto for introducing Peddie to me. Coach Parker for always pushing me, most definitely. Every day in practice, it was he and I, always, always, always. His like constant energy put into me, like, just makes my time here worthwhile.
Mr. Onion, my advisor for 3 years, he's been there with me through thick and thin. Him and Mr. Augusto have been like the father I never had, to be that figure in my life, somebody I can go to, somebody to be hard on me and like kind of push me. The admissions office, Mr. Cabot, of course, to like believe in me. The rest of the admissions department, the athletics department, the trainers, Coach Volkmar, keeping us in shape. Tia Hart, my science teacher from last year, Miss Kochar, those teachers left an impact on me like that I'll carry with me forever. Coach Harris, Coach Maleo, Coach Parker, all of them great coaches, and Mr. Truslow. Of course, you know, headmaster, Mr. Quinn. He's been there for me at times, and like my family and my mom, to like kind of help her through things for her being new to the boarding school process. So I gotta thank all of them for, you know, just being there for me and my family.
Oh, I feel way ahead of the game. The Peddie academics here, they're no joke. It's hard, but it'll get you prepared for college. I'm thankful for Coach Maleo and all the admissions, everyone allowing me to come in and repeat my junior year. I have to thank my parents, the Holy Cross community, the Thomaston community, everyone back home. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Offensive line, those are my brothers. Like, we do everything together, we eat, sleep, everything, really.
It's probably the best offensive line in the nation, and I can say that by running behind it. Having Larry, Evan, Doc, Thomas, all those guys, Chris, just having those guys was insane. The holes were, as you can see, they're open. All I had to do was run through them.
A burst of speed up the middle for Chris Chekwanecki.
I want to thank Mr. Quinn, the headmaster here, for allowing me to spend my year here and give me the opportunity to see this wonderful place. Mr. McClellan for helping me. He's always been someone that I've talked to. He's someone that's been pushing me to just be a better student, be a better individual. I want to thank Ms. Dunn for admitting me into here and letting me like live my one-year dream here. I want to thank my family, most importantly my mom. That woman's put in so much sacrifice.
I've learned a lot just from being here, from just the people here, my teammates, just the atmosphere. It's and off the field, even academically, it's just bettered me as a person in general as well. It challenges you in all aspects of life and all phases of life. So I'm just blessed to be in the position I am and have the opportunity I have at this school and have the opportunity I have the next 4 years at Vanderbilt. First and foremost, obviously my family, my mom, dad, and my sister. I mean, my journey wasn't too easy. I transferred schools, and now I board here. They've made so many sacrifices for me and my future that I just am forever thankful for, and I couldn't have done it without them. And then all my coaches as well. Even my coaches my first year of high school, all the coaches that I've trained with over the past years, everybody's just been a blessing in my life. And then obviously lastly just God. I mean, I'm a very religious person, so I mean, all the thanks goes to him as well, because none of this would be possible without him.
I'm thankful for this experience and for meeting these guys and being able to train, have them push me push them. Coach Malayo adding a little bit to it, like best is the standard, which is definitely vital. We crossed every T and dot every I with that. Obviously, I'd like to thank Mr. Quinn, Mr. Cabot, of course, Coach Malayo, Coach Tedeschi, Coach Parker, guys like Mr. Augusto, Mr. Trees, Mr. Onion, Mr. Sham, Mr. Brown, Edwards, he's a new guy this year, Mr. Truslow, without a doubt, like my family, my mother, my dad, my sisters, grandparents, and anybody who's believed in me and my friends.
We were short of numbers, definitely. But I feel like because of that, it brought us closer to each other. Yeah, the O-line, D-line especially, we definitely built this brotherhood throughout these couple of years together. So it was something that, never forget. I'll never forget these guys. First and foremost, I thank my parents, The amount of sacrifice they have done for me, like these past 3 years, unbelievable. And then Coach Malayo, obviously, he's one of the most inspiring guys to be around. He's a hard-headed guy, but like if you get to know him, he's really loving. He cares about all of us. And, it hit us in the heart. And then the rest of the teammates, all the guys, I love them all. Definitely gonna miss it here. Yeah, but good memories.
The special thing about it is being so far away from home. I kind of get to venture off into my own world and make a name for myself out on the other side of the country. Something like crazy that's kind of crazy to me is coming out here playing high school football, but it's a college football field with all these 3-star, 4-star athletes, kids that are Power 5 commits, and kids that are upcoming Power 5 commits. The competition that we played with every day in practice was one in a lifetime. Like you don't get that at normal high school. First and foremost, I want to thank God for my experience. Without him, I wouldn't be here. I want to thank my mom, my guardian, and his family. I want to thank my best friend. I want to thank Coach Malayo, Coach Parker, Mr. Quinn, and Mrs. Dunn for getting me into the school.
Yeah, I want to thank my mom, especially. She put me through here. She's paying for it. My grandparents too, they're helping out. They helped out with football, get my cleats and stuff. Coach Malayo, Coach Parker, believing in my ability to play football and ability to go to the next level. Definitely Mr. Gilbert, he helped me with physics when I was struggling last year. He'd take time at study hall to help me. A math teacher, Coach D, would help me. I feel prepared academically through my teachers and through the harder workload we get here. It's definitely prepared me for the college and football training, off season, during the season, it's basically a college training. Same what they do, just a step down, it's not the full thing, but it's definitely a taste of what it is, and I feel like I'm ready.
So one of the really unique things about being a part of this community is the support that you get from people, and I've learned so much from people that I've worked with and people that I've worked under. The admissions staff at Peddie, Ray Cabot and Molly Dunn have been amazing mentors to me. Peter Quinn has done a wonderful job as our head of our school, and who's really been a huge supporter of the football program and what that transformative experience can do. Catherine Rodriguez, our assistant head of school, a lot of the people within the dorms, our arts department. It's amazing how many people support each other here, and it's authentic and it's genuine, and I'm so grateful for it.
Updates from around college football. Oklahoma seems to be surviving Iowa State, up 10 points with 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. Penn State has put a hurting on Kent State, 63-10, with 1:09 left in the fourth. Stanford leading UC Davis 17-3 with just a few seconds left in the first half. Notre Dame up 10-0 on Vanderbilt just early in the second quarter. Georgia won 49-7 over Middlesex Tennessee State. Clemson defeated Georgia Southern 38-7. And the University of Miami defeated Toledo 49-24. Second half kickoff in a couple of minutes with Peddie School leading Wyoming Seminary 39-7. The coaches have agreed to play 8-minute quarters in the second half. A warm welcome back north to the Tornadoes, who are here to support Peddie football once again. Just wouldn't be the same without you guys.
Welcome back, everybody. Once again, we are live from Schumann Field in Hightstown, New Jersey. About to start the third quarter. As right now, it's been all Peddie Falcons, as you can see on your screen. 39-7 is our score. But the Blue Knights will receive. As looks like Wyoming Seminary is ready, but Peddie School not so much just yet. And you'll also notice that they put 8 minutes up on the board, so an agreement's been made to shorten the time of the game because of the scoreline at 39-7. So 8-minute quarters, at least for the third quarter. We'll see if that changes. They may go running time as well. And I would expect to see some new faces out there. I did notice that Aiden McHugh Wood The sophomore backup quarterback for Peddie was kind of warming up, but he was also warming up with the starting quarterback, Maurice Bellon. So we'll certainly see who comes into the game when Peddie gets the ball back. And Wyoming Seminary, they're on a bit of a high note right now as they picked up a score late in the first half of play. So they were able to get on the board for the first time as here comes the kick, end over end. Prince Hall waits for it at the 15-yard line. And he's already had one big return, and he gets another one as he'll go to the 40, then cut to the middle, to the 50, has room. Oh, just gets caught at the 45-yard line. Tackled from behind. And again, there are a number of numbers and names that we don't have matched up. Number 81 for Peddie, again, it's not on our list. But he made a nice touchdown-saving tackle.
Number 81 for the Falcons, and we don't have that number on our score sheet, unfortunately.
But it will be 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line for Wyoming Seminary. And this is the common setup they've had through the second quarter as we start off the third. As this is handed off to Javon Lane, he'll get a gain of a couple. So it's that
Number 22
to the left they've had and the I formation.
Looks like about a yard.
And they'll give him a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 42.
42-yard line for the Blue Knights.
Just one first down so far in this game for the Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights. But it occurred on their last drive, so see if they can get some momentum here. And coming back 39-7 will be tough, but maybe they'll get some momentum for their next game. 2 to the right this time as they hand off the lane, gets to the outside to the 40, maybe just short.
Hand off the lane again.
They'll spot this on the 41-yard line, so a gain of another 1. It'll be
Falcon tacklers.
We'll go 3rd and 8 from the 41-yard line. As Presley was in on the tackle for Peddie.
Pick up about another yard.
So a somewhat manageable 3rd down here for the Blue Knights. Most of their 3rd downs have been 3rd and double digits. They'll go to the left this time. And those two are Todd Phillips and Jason Kachowski.
Back in the shotgun.
Izzy back to throw. Goes, steps into the pocket. Goes to the left, heading end zone. And flag will fly. Todd Phillips was surrounded, but also run into.
To number 3, Todd Phillips.
And that is a tough call.
As Phillips was run into by a Peddie defender.
There were 3 defenders down. I believe the man he ran into was Khalil Majid. And it will be against Peddie. So they'll spot the ball on the 26-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10.
Interference call.
So they will go pass interference on that one. That's not a bad play for Peddie. And he makes that catch, which was a long shot. If he makes that catch, he's all the way to the 10-5 and possibly into the end zone. In the NFL rule, it would have been a bad play, but here at the high school level, not so bad. As a handoff up the middle, Hall gets through. And just about to the sticks. Majid gets the tackle. It'll be a gain of 9 on the play, 2nd and 1. And this is where, against 2nd and 1, you can get a little bit of time. You want Heisey to go deep, get some yardage here. And at this spot inside the red zone, maybe get pop into the end zone here. So they'll go to the left once again. Heisey under center. And he'll hand it off up the middle. Contact right away on Hall, but he squeezes through and gets the first down.
Hall takes the counter.
Gain of 2 up to the 14-yard line.
Right away, but he fights it off and gains a couple of yards and picks up a first down for the Blue Knights.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. And And I can say this for the first time in this game that Blue Knights are marching a little bit with the help from a penalty, and now their second first down of the game. Still spread it out to the right this time. And Heisey circles back and then hands it off to Lane. Lane forced back, trying to get to the edge, but he is tackled down back at the 19-yard line. That'll be a loss of 5 on the play.
Wyoming Seminary.
See if they give him some forward momentum.
Side was number 22 Lane on the carry, and he's going to lose a couple of yards.
They're going to give him
as a
only a loss of 1 or 2. So second and 12 from the 16. Down to 4:27 to go here in the third quarter. And they got a big lead for Peddie, but Wyoming Seminary trying to score in their second straight offensive series. As they'll try to the left this time. Again, Phillips and Kaczowski. This time the QB in the shotgun. Heisey back to throw, looking to the left, to the corner, and out of the reach of Phillips. Looks like he might have had Kaczowski in the end zone, but was really settled on Phillips. And it was just low of his hip, so couldn't really reach out. Got the fingertip on it, but not much else. So again, incomplete, and it'll be a third down and 11. Third down and 12, rather, from the 16-yard line. I like the thought process of having Kaczowski go to the end zone and going underneath to Phillips, but the defender didn't buy it. You want to draw that defender into the end zone. But it didn't work, as again back to the shotgun, and then forced out of the pocket is Heisey. He'll throw it up into the end zone, and it is intercepted. Khalil Majid continues a great defensive game. And there's a flag in the backfield. So it could be either holding, but it is going to be a personal foul, roughing the passer. So a reprieve here for Wyoming Seminary, so that negates the interception. And it'll stay in Blue Knights' possession. They'll spot this ball all the way inside of the 5-yard line. They may have spotted it too far. Again, personal foul. And it'll be a first and goal.
That takes the ball half the distance to the goal line. First and goal from the 8 now.
So they spotted on the 8, and a great opportunity for the Blue Knights to pick up another score, down 39-7, 3:50 to go, third quarter. Still 2 receivers, but they spread them out, 1 on each side. Dwyer and Hall in the backfield. They fake the handoff to Hall, rolls out looking to the corner, being chased the whole way, forced out of bounds. Couldn't get that one off, as Davis Sherwood chased him.
Heisey just rolls out left and is forced further left. Forced out of bounds.
So that'll go back to the 15-yard line, and there's a flag once again. And that is in the area of holding, and it looks like that is going to come back. We'll see if we can get a signal from our
Flag
officials.
on this play as well.
And it will be a hold.
The ball, holding call against the Blue Knights. Pushes the ball back to the 22-yard line, where it will be first and goal.
First and goal all the way from the 22 now. A lot of field to work with, but
number 30, Davis Sherwood.
Got to go end zone here.
Heisey out wide.
A little penalty trouble for both teams, actually. So a penalty on Peddie continued this drive. This one on the Blue Knights pushes them back. Again, first and goal from the 22. Trips to the right, 1 to the left. And Costello in the backfield along with Heisey, who's in the shotgun. As he'll fake the handoff and throw it, and it's tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Marlon Johnson. He cuts to the inside, slowed down, tripped up, but stays on his feet to the 40, to the 30, up the sideline, and he fights a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Peddie.
The ball is tipped and intercepted by Marlon Johnson.
Marlon Johnson.
Flag free all the way down.
Two
for a
touchdowns
Peddie
offensively, and now
football
one
touchdown
pick
on the
six.
interception.
And it's now 45-7.
That score makes it 45-7 with
2:45 to go here in the third. We may have just overheard. They may be going for two here. But little, I wouldn't say tip drill. But great concentration from the senior from Ambler, PA, and future Scarlet Knight.
Almost tripped up, but he maintained his balance and returned it all the way, almost 90 yards for the.
I thought at first they might go for two, but Michael Tile is still coming out.
Touchdown. Falcons are out going for
But
two
so is
today.
a Belanto. Actually, it's going to be Tile. Not only is he the kicker, he's the center. And under center is Balan. Balan takes a knee. That was a little intriguing.
Milan takes a knee and he
So the PAT, or two-point conversion, no good. Again, I'm guessing that they just didn't want to run up any more points here. But again, if I'm Wyoming Seminary, I'm like, you know what, let's play the game in spite of the scoreline. Let's work on some things. Turn this non-conference game into essentially an exhibition game at this point. And a chance here for the Blue Knights to really work on some stuff against, well, obviously, a high level of competition in the Peddie school. As again, this is just going to drop them to 1-1 on the year. And they'll certainly have aspirations for the rest of the season to try to improve on last year's 3-5 record. And officials are starting to get a little bit more impatient, as we've noted throughout this entire game, that after every score, both teams kind of take an extended break, and the officials are like, no, let's go here.
number 2 Hall, number 22.
As Prince Hall and Javon Lane are back to receive, and Peddie really taking their time. And there's no play clock in this situation. And this might be, again, an opportunity for some Peddie players who don't normally get time to get some. So maybe that's just working on some of the new personnel packages. As Michael Tile, really ready to kick off from the 40-yard line. For the most part, he's been squibbing them right up the middle. And he'll get this up the far side, scooped up just short of the 15-yard line. Here's Prince Hall. He's had a pretty big day as he gets over the 20 to 24-yard line. And that one's certainly not his longest return. He's had a couple of big ones, though, trying to get Wyoming Seminary into a decent position to score. But they have had some troubles offensively, only one successful series, which is why we have ourselves a 45-7 score here in the third quarter. 2:15 left to go in the third. Heisey, the senior, waiting for some extra players to make their way on. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. So they'll go 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And Kyle Costello is in the backfield along with Prince Hall. Correction, that is Lane, and he is tackled in the backfield. One went low and one went high. I believe that was C.J. Presley who was in on the tackle.
Number 55, Tile gets in low.
Oh, that was Tile in helping as well. It gets back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 from the 34. The clock continues to roll now to 1:17 to go.
Basically the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd and 10 for the Blue Knights.
Brand new score overlay here on the Play-by-Play Sports Network. Tied in directly with the actual scoreboard mechanism. It's actually working quite well and pretty neat. As they'll hand this off to Lane once again, but he is stuffed and forced backwards. by a bevy of Falcons. And in the tackle was C.J. Presley, along with a couple of others. And again, this defensive line has put on the pressure from pretty much the first series of the game, especially right up the middle, just outsizing them by at least 30 pounds, if not more. So a loss of 5 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 15. So we're down to 28 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Heisey's in the shotgun with Hall right next to him. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. And they'll move to trips to the right as Kaczowski comes over. Fakes the handoff, rolls out to the right under pressure, and he's tripped up and sacked. Great job getting around the line is Jack Barnes, the sophomore. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. So after 3, it's now 45-7 Peddie. We'll take a quick break. Back in a moment for 4th quarter action as you're watching Peddie School football.
6 or 7 yard loss back to their own 22-yard.
Time for 4th quarter action as we switch sides, but Wyoming Seminary has to punt. High snap, but a spiraling punt. And a bit of a Blue Knight bounce to the 50-yard line as it stays right on the midfield stripe. So the start of the 4th quarter, and Peddie will get control of the ball, leading 45-7. Just 11 seconds into the 4th quarter of this non-conference prep game. The Peddie School out of right here in Hightstown, New Jersey. Wyoming Seminary from Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, near the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area. Tom Williams here on the call. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for a little prep school football. We'll be back with more Peddie School action coming up in just a few weeks. As we 2 more road games for Peddie School. They'll head down to D.C. to take on Gonzaga, and then out to suburban Philadelphia to take on Malvern Prep before they head back home.
Working with the first team.
And we'll have some changes. Back to throw. Here is Aiden McHugh-Wood. It's complete, but getting tackled down right away was Khalil Majid. And that'll go for a loss.
McHugh-Wood evades the tackler and gets off a throw.
So a chance here for McHugh-Wood to get some game experience that he might normally may not get. 6'1", 180, again, just a sophomore wearing number 20. And not only is it good practice to get on the field and get some reps in as far as throwing the ball and handing it off, but trying to lead some of these men on the field who are a couple of years older than him. And so we'll certainly keep an eye on anybody else that's new into the game. So trips to the left, 1 to the right, and 1 in the backfield. And that's Patrick Smith, the freshman, who's been in and out of this game. And they fake the handoff. It's down, and it is a fumble. And recovered. Well, a bit of a broken play there.
McHugh Wood on the handoff, and there's a fumble on the play, which is picked up by Wyoming Seminary. It's a turnover.
So a turnover, the first one
Gives the ball to
for Peddie School. Again, this is a game that's been free of turnovers.
43-yard line.
Only one turnover each. A couple of drop fumbles and recovered by the same team. But an interception, a pick six against Seminary, and then the fumble you just saw right there. So pretty good field position for the Blue Knights. And see if they start to empty out the bench as well. Couple of different players coming in, including Ari Lonstein, number 14, the junior. And I believe it's actually Lonstein who's going to go under center.
Number 14, Lonstein under center now for the Blue Knights.
So he'll get an opportunity to get something rolling. As he'll hand this ball, and that is dropped and recovered by Peddie.
Hand off to 22.
Javon Lane just couldn't pick up the fumble, couldn't pick up the handoff. So we just talked about it being a turnover-free game. Well, not so much.
First and 10 from their own 43-yard line.
So it'll be first and 10 from their own 43 for the Peddie Falcons. Now it's getting a little ugly out there, but again, when you're getting some guys in who haven't had any real game experience, that's going to tend to happen. Some guys may be playing varsity football for the first time in their lives, so maybe some jitters. But a fantastic opportunity. As much as you would prefer not to lose a 45-7 game, but an opportunity for Wyoming Seminary to get some new players in. Same goes for Peddie.
Peddie comes out off the sideline right into the formation. McHugh Wood.
So McHugh Wood back to throw, under pressure. Goes to the near side, caught by Smith, cuts inside, gets to the 50, still rumbling, gets a first down a little bit more as he dives over the 45-yard line.
The screen pass from McHugh Wood and takes it down.
That is a really good awareness by McHugh Wood and nice composure as well. Left side of the line, I wouldn't say they faulted, but two men were kind of coming towards him on the blind side. But again, kept his composure and got that pass completed. So first down for the Falcons. First and 10 from the 44. And clock down to 4 minutes here in the fourth quarter. And the result of this game, right now a foregone conclusion, as it looks like Peddie will take the victory. But some new players getting opportunities. Trips to the left, one to the right, one in the backfield. As handoff is fake, pass over the middle. And that is caught by Ship. Ship comes to the outside, goes to the 20 to the 15, drags, and it gets to just short of the 10-yard line.
McHugh Wood with a nice pass on
Max Plank, the junior from Vienna, Austria, picks up the touchdown-saving tackle. But it is a first down for the Falcons. First and 10 from the 11.
To the 11-yard line of the Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights. First and 10
something that McHugh Wood maybe not thought would happen today is maybe picking up a touchdown. Sure, he's going to want to throw it in there instead of handing it off. So he's in the shotgun with Patrick Smith, the freshman, right next to him. They go trips left, one to the right again. As he hands it off, dancing through here is Smith. Cutting to the outside, but he is dragged down by the leg by Kyle Costello.
Smith on the handoff up the middle. Dances around a couple of people, picks up a few yards.
He'll get inside the 10-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play.
Down to the 7-yard line where
it'll be second and 6 from the 7.
After the gain of 4.
So they can get another first down. 2:30 left to go here in the game. With a big lead for the Peddie Falcons. Spread things out once again. 2 receivers to each side. Mechie in motion. Recovers. Circles around and shovels it up ahead, and that is incomplete. A little bit of panic there from McHugh Wood. But that little shovel pass forward.
Snap is mishandled.
Well, certainly saved a huge loss. It'll still be 3rd and 6 from the 7.
An incomplete pass.
Certainly better than 3rd in a country mile. We're down to 1:40 to go.
3rd and 6.
And basically the last opportunity for Peddie to get into the end zone. So Aiden McHugh Wood trying to lead the offense into the end zone one last time in this one. 2 receivers on each side, and Patrick Smith to his left. No need to fake the handoff into the end zone. Touchdown, Peddie. Nice lead pass for Mason Shep. And with 1:08 left to go, it is now 51-7. So it looks like they're going to go for 2 and most likely take a knee. If the last time they tried a PAT is any indication. But maybe they'll try to get, again, a little bit more experience for McHugh Wood. And not exactly sure what this is about. It looks like a timeout has been called. A little surprised at that at this point. And they're taking the ball out to where you'd kick it off from. So maybe they're just, it's like an intentional walk in baseball. Maybe they're conceding the 2 points, or actually conceding that they're not going to go for the 2 points. I've never seen that before. Now, the advantage of a non-conference game, which is crossing state lines, is you can kind of futz with the rules a little bit. Technically, you're supposed to go with the home team's state's rules, their league's rules, if there are any changes. But maybe they just agreed, you know what, let's not bother. We're going to take a knee anyway. So, there you have it. So it stays at 51-7. And I think they're actually asking on the bench who wants to kick off. That's very interesting because Michael Tile's been kicking off the entire game, but I don't see him down there. But I think they are just, well, Tile's there. He's got, I don't know why they're asking who wants to kick off. Maybe who wants to be on the kickoff team this time. Just get a little experience on special teams. That's pretty much what this last, 2 quarters has been here. And it looks like maybe too many men. Nope. Late substitution. With that mystery number 80 for Peddie coming on for John Mechie. He's done his bit for the Peddie Falcons today.
Hall and Lane back to receive.
So again, it's Hall and Lane back for Wyoming Seminary. And the kick coming from Tile. End over end. And it is caught. And forced out of bounds was Chris Berg.
Actually picked up by number 1, Chris Berg on the
We're down under a minute, and the clock will continue to run. So maybe one more play for Wyoming Seminary. And that will close things out here at the Peddie School this afternoon. So go 1st and 10 from the 30. Let's see if they bother to run a play. And you would think they'd have to. Interesting to see number 12 for Wyoming Seminary out there. That's Ryan Anderson, listed as the punter. A lot of punters have had time as quarterbacks, but I don't think he's going to be in a quarterback as Ari Lonstein is in. And a timeout has been called by Wyoming Seminary with 20 seconds left. They were about to run out of time as far as the play clock is concerned. They want to get one more play in. And they're just going to wind the clock, it looks like, and that'll do it. I guess the agreement has been made to let it all roll. So, Wyoming Seminary and Peddie come to a close with Peddie picking up a big 51-7 victory in this non-conference game. Wyoming Seminary, they drop to 1-1 on the year, while Peddie, they improve to 2-0. So Peddie School will head to the road next. They'll head down to D.C. and to take on Gonzaga. And then the week after that, Malvern Prep down in Philadelphia. And then they'll return back home for the next broadcast here on the Play-by-Play Sports Network. So that'll just about do it for us. Once again, our final score this afternoon, the Peddie School Falcons 51 and the Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights 7. Now, for all of us here at Schumann Field in Hightstown, New Jersey, this is Tom Wilms saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you real soon.